and welcome to today's video. Everything old is always new again. We see trends come through in cycles, and one of the trends that I've been seeing in makeup lately here on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, different online articles, is people talking about latte makeup. I want to do it how I want to do it. We're gonna have a good time. Let's jump into it. Okay, y'all, if you have never heard of latte makeup, maybe you haven't seen it, I'm gonna pop up some images. I just went on Google, looked for some images. I saw Danessa Myricks had created some beautiful looks, and I feel like trends come in cycles, right? Like these looks, I'm like, oh, okay, it's a warm smoky eye, like a bronze smoky eye, but now it's latte makeup. Like that's the trend. And I have to say, I think trends are fun. Of course, we're gonna see things that were done years ago come back, and then we'll in a few years see the trends come back again. They just usually get termed to new things, but I think it's fun. It's fun. It can be inspiring. I've seen lots of people doing this latte makeup, and from what I can see, they are like golden looks, a little bronzy warm, but not overly warm into more of the orange. It's kind of almost these yellow undertones, golden undertones. I've even some that are seen are kind of like olive leaning. I've seen some people do it with like minimal makeup. Some people do it more glam. So I thought, let's have some fun. Let's do latte makeup here. Of course, I'm gonna take it a little more glam, but I kind of shopped my stash and pulled some products that I think would fit this trend well. And then Sigma is launching new bite-size eyeshadow quads. Y'all know I love Sigma, and I think it's really smart that they're launching quads. So I pulled two from their new line. We're gonna mix these together on the eyes. We're gonna do bronzer. Like I just went ahead and put down my foundation, concealer, powder, and brows because that to me didn't really look like it mattered with latte makeup. But bronzer, blush, highlight, lips, eyes, I figured we would do together. So let's do it. Let's do my take on latte makeup. Okay, so I've zoomed y'all in a little bit, and I thought we would start with bronzing up the skin. Now, for looking at this trend, I decided to pull my Scott Barnes contour palette. This has some interesting tones in here, and I don't use this palette enough. So I was looking through this, and I was looking at the shade Chiseled and Sliced. This one specifically has this really pretty like yellowy gold type of tone to it. This one a little more neutral. And then my favorite shade from this palette is Snatched. It has this olive tone to it, which I love. I would consider myself to have a olive warm leaning undertone, so I love pulling this shade in. I'm gonna grab my Sigma brush first. This is an F76 Chiseled Cheek, and I'm gonna dip some into Chiseled, some into Sliced first, and that is what we are going to start with and kind of bronze up with, and then we're gonna go in and add a little bit of Snatched as well. Okay, so I'm going to kind of start by bronzing, and I chose this shaped brush because I don't want something that's too fluffy, because I want to have a little control over this. I don't want to go overboard with the bronzer in terms of like letting it really like go all over my face. I want to be a little more precise. So if you have a smaller face, maybe a smaller brush, you know, I just wanted something that kind of fit right here in this area, and I am using this to bronze, so I'm gonna bring it up a little bit like this. And let me know, have you seen this trend going around? I think everybody I see wearing it, like no matter the skin tone, it just looks so pretty, so I thought it would be fun to try. I'm gonna bronze up my forehead as well, just anywhere that the sun would kind of hit, you know? Okay, so I'm bronzed up. I want to go in though with that olive tone Snatched, and I'm going to mix it with a little bit of Sliced. And I'm going to keep this back a bit because this is just going to kind of deepen it up. I'm not necessarily trying to contour. I mean, look at these cheeks. You can't contour them. But we can add a little definition by putting our deeper tone back here. And I just love the olive undertone of this one right here. The shades that I'm using today are really the only 3 shades I use from this palette, but I just really like the tones. So I'm just going to keep that right back here. I'm not bringing it down in here. You see, I'm just going to blend it and keep it back here to give me a little more shape, and it's just going to give us some more dimension to kind of play into this whole latte trend. Am I drinking a latte right now? No, it feels like 107 today. It is hot here. I'm drinking an energy drink though. I bought the Alani Nu Kimade. It's like strawberry lemonade. It's freaking delicious, but I'm gonna keep blending to sculpt myself, and then we're going to blush. For blush, I want to pick something kind of with this like neutral-ish undertone, but I still want to blush. So I pulled out my Lunar Beauty Nude Prism blush palette, and I want to use the shade called Beautiful. Like, I think this is going to be so pretty. Okay, the blush is called Beaute. Sorry, like T-E-A. I think I called it Beautiful, but it's Beaute. So I'm using this Samantha Ravindall brush, and I'm just going to blush up. I would love to know also, like, what kind of trends are you happy to see? I feel like so often we talk about like trends we hate, trends we wish would go away, but I would love to know, what trends are you loving? I have liked seeing this, even though for me this wouldn't be like something I would want to wear a ton, especially when it comes to like neutrals on the eyes, just because I love playing with color. But I do like seeing this trend. I've loved the whole like Barbie makeup trend. I think it's been fun. I like just seeing like people be inspired by different things, you know? So let me know, what trends have been going around in the past year or so that you really enjoy? I was looking, and I wanted to use my Too Faced Moon Crush Out of This World highlighter. I really like this. I bought this when it launched. I know I already reviewed it and everything, but I think this is so beautiful. I have a hair on my lip. There we go. This really reminds me of a highlighter I have from Natasha Denona. It is very smooth, and you can put just a little bit on and get this lit from within ethereal glow, or you can make it blinding. Like, it's really a beautiful formula. It has this nice luxurious packaging. I'm just really liking it. So I thought we would use that because it's kind of on the lighter side of highlights for me, my skin tone, I feel like. So it'll stand out, but I think I'm just gonna apply a little bit of it and not bring it to that like see me from outer space level, which y'all know I love. Okay, I'm gonna grab my E61, and I'm just gonna pick up a little bit, and oh, that is so pretty. It's so beautiful. So I'm just going to put it kind of here on my cheek. I'm gonna bring it down pretty low so that when I smile, it's kind of right here, hitting me like apples of my cheeks. Of course, I'm not going for a no makeup look. I'm not going for that type of look, but I do want to just make sure that I'm really kind of blending it in. And I'm also going to highlight a little bit on the nose, a little bit on the Cupid's bow. Okay, y'all, Sigma is launching quads. I think this is a really smart move. I think a lot of people really like quads. I can think of so many people in my life that would love these quads. They're just nice. They're compact. So Sigma is releasing quads on the 5th. They're releasing 6 new quads. So these are going to be about, not the 5th, the 15th, August 15th. And I will link everything. I'll put everything I talk about down in the description box. My code with Sigma is affiliated. It is HeatherAustin10, but I'll put it all in the description box. You know, everything we use today, I'll put in the description box. But of the new ones that are launching, I thought these two, I'm like, ooh, let's do latte makeup with these two. So let me show you a close-up and swatches of these. We're going to be using the Caramel Apple Quad and the Creme Brulee Quad. And I just thought, you know, like the color stories of these, I was like, okay, these are kind of gold leaning. The one is like olivey green. I'm not going to use the green today. I'm not. We're going to stick with the neutrals. We're going to stick with the neutrals. We're going to do latte, but I have to prime my eyes. So I'm going to throw down my Sigma Ignite Eye Primer, and we're going to see. We're just going to do this like blown out goldy yellow brown eye. Okay, so I was grabbing for my Ignite. I keep it like right here near me, but I was thinking let's change up the base that we use a little bit, because that can really change your makeup look. I talk about, you know, if you're playing with pastels and you really want them to pop, using a white eyeshadow base will definitely make pastel shades pop. I've talked before and shown in videos like just using different color like gel liners and bases under shadows. Black is one that will make shades really transform, like different multi-chromes and things. So I have the eyeshadow base primer from Sigma in Bubbly. Now if it's a liquid shadow or a cream gel liner or something that is in a different formula or a pot, I will usually go in with one of my favorite eyeshadow primers, my MAC Paint Pot in Lay and Low or my Sigma eyeshadow base. I'll put that on first and then I'll go in with the cream gel liner or the base or whatever, because I need a primer that does not crease. I have deep set eyes, I have oily skin. It's a combo that will destroy eyeshadow. Like I can just tell you from years of experience. So I'll do that. But since I have this in a formula that I know does not crease on me, I'm going to use this. So Bubbly is a shimmery shade. And I'm actually going to use that just under the brow bone. I don't often highlight underneath my brow bone. I just don't love. But I feel like for this trend and what we're going for today, it's going to be really, really pretty. So I put that there. You can see it's kind of this, it's got a shimmer to it. I'm going to blend, don't worry. But for the primer, I'm going to use the shade Earthen from Sigma. So I'm going to put this on all right here. And let me grab a brush and we will kind of blend these to like mesh and make it look cohesive before I go in with my powder shadow. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of blend in my eyeshadow primer. This Earthen is kind of just like this light brown on the cool side. So I'm gonna kind of like press that in like that. And then when I get to, what did I say that shade name was? Bubbly. It is like this really pretty shimmery kind of champagne-y color. I'm going to lightly blend like that so that it's not like this stark contrast, but it kind of like fades into that earthen color. Earthen. I keep wanting to get tripped up on that word, but I'm gonna start like this. Look at us doing something different today, having a good time with our makeup. Before I forget, I usually put it in the description box because when I'm editing, I'm like, dang, Heather, you forgot to say this like glow. You see my skin, like it has this sheen to it without being sparkly. This L'Oreal True Match Lumi Glotion. L'Oreal sent me this. This is not a new product. They've had this in their line for so long. L'Oreal sent me this and I fell in love. I've been using it so much, like just as a little lotion. Like it doesn't have a lot of color, but see, like it just gives my skin like this little bit of a shine, and it doesn't like come off. Like it's just this like really pretty. Anyways, the point being, I repurchased it. I haven't used up this bottle yet, but I love it so much. I saw Ulta was having a sale. I'm like, I need to buy it. So that's the little bit of glow you see on me. Okay, now back. Let me put primer on the other eye. Okay, so I have my eyes primed, and looking at these quads, I want to go in with this one first. I want to use this lighter shade called Salted Caramel. Now, just looking at these in the pan, this shade right here may look super similar to this shade, but this shade does have a little bit more of like a yellowy olive undertone to it. So I want to start with that one. I have never tried these quads before, but I will say I have tried Sigma before. Like I have bought so many Sigma products before I was an affiliate with the brand, and I've tried so many things. So I feel like I know the Sigma eyeshadow formula really well, but of course, if these are not the quality that I know and expect from the brand, I will let y'all know. But I'm just going on top of my primer with this shade, and I'm going to really just kind of fluff this all over. I'm gonna go all over the lid, all here, and I'm really going to blow this out. Like you can see, I'm trying not to turn my head too much so that you can see that I am pulling this shadow out. I even pulled my primer out a little farther than I normally do because I knew I really wanted to like take this eyeshadow out here. I mean, I'm almost on my temple out here, and I'm just going to kind of fluff that on. This shade is looking so beautiful on top of this deeper eye primer, I think. It's really kind of like adding to the effect of the look. And yeah, I'm just going to spend a little time blending. I'm going to be using my Sigma Favorite set on my eyes today, my brush set. So that's what, if you see the eye brushes, that's what they're coming from. But yeah, I'm just going to take a little more time blending because with this latte makeup trend, I do notice that sometimes they add shimmer to the eye, sometimes it's an all matte eye, sometimes they use very light golden browns, sometimes it's very dark shades. So it's a trend that is not one specific thing, you know, like you can definitely adapt it for your makeup preference. If you like lighter shades, deeper shades, like you can still participate in this trend. Okay, I have that blended, kind of blown out. I want to go in with the little creme brulee quad, and I'm going to go into Brittle, this deep brown shade right here. I'm going to pick that up on my brush, and I am going to kind of look down. I'm going to press this right here at the lash line, and I'm going to, whoops, go in with a little more shadow, and I'm going to push this on the lower lash line as well, and I'm going to kind of flick it out like this, and I'm just going to create like a little whisper of a wing with my brown shadow like this. Like a little whisper of a wing, nothing harsh, nothing like super intense, just a little bit of a wing with the shadow. And I'm going to bring that brown shade almost all the way across my eye, but I'm gonna stop right about here. So I'm not gonna come all the way in. I'm gonna let it be like a half liner almost, just with that dark brown. Yeah, like that. And then I'll go back with that brush I used first, and I'll blend just a little bit, just kind of slightly. But I am going to kind of continue underneath, bringing that down and around. And again, just really lightly blending, not making this too intense or anything like that. Just keeping it more so like blended. Okay, I want to add some shimmer. You can definitely do all matte if you like, but I want to add this really pretty gold. Like, do you see? That's beautiful. It's definitely a gold. So I'm going to pick that up on my brush, and I am going to spray my brush. The name of this shadow is called Caramelized. I do like that we have 4 shades. I mean, it's a quad, 4 shades. But out of the 4, they give us 2 mattes. They gave us one of their kind of like standard shimmers that's very smooth, very pretty. But then they gave us one of their kind of intense shimmers. So I like that in a 4-pan palette, we have 3 different formulas. I'm into that. Okay, so I am just going to put this kind of low. I'm not going to bring it up high like I like to do sometimes. I'm going to keep it pretty low, and I'm going to start it right here where I didn't kind of bring that darker brown shadow. And I'm just kind of pressing at first. And then I'm going to lightly kind of fan that shade out. But I definitely wanted it to be most intense right in here. That's looking really pretty though. I'm just gonna tap it on. And then once I feel like I have most of it on my brush, I'll lightly kind of blend. Okay, I wanna highlight the inner corner, and I want to use this shade right here called Buttery. So back into the Caramel Apple Quad. So from this one, I used Buttery and Salted Caramel. And then from the Creme Brulee Quad, I used Caramelized and Brittle. Okay, I'm gonna take that shade. I did not spray my brush with any setting spray or mist. And I'm gonna highlight my inner corner just like this. Now, I think what I will do is just use a little bit of a brown eyeliner, mascara, and maybe a half lash to kind of emphasize this shape we have going on. So I'm going to use my Melt Cosmetics liner. This is the Slick Line Waterline Eye Pencil in the shade Cacao. I'm going to put this on mascara, half lash. I will be back, and we're going to do a brown nude for me type of lip. All right, y'all, here is our eye look with the liner and the lash. I think this look is super pretty without a lash too, but you know, I wanted to turn up the drama a little bit. So I'm wearing Kiss lashes in the style Sire, and I did trim them, so they're not really half lashes, but I did kind of cut off the outer corners so they wouldn't be quite as dramatic. But let's do lips. From what I've seen in some latte makeup looks, it's just like a bronzy gloss, sometimes just like a nude or a clear, sometimes pale. So I wanted to do lip liner and a lip gloss. So I thought we would do something like an ombre type of lip with liner. So I'm going to start off with the Unearthly Lip Pencil in the shade Char. And I'm going to line my lips with this because this is kind of a deeper, kind of cool tone brown. So I'm going to line like this. And then I'm going to not fill them in, but I am going to kind of bring this color in a bit. Not completely, but I'm just going to kind of thicken up that line. You know, you'll see. Kind of kind of like this. Sorry, I have to look into my mirror when I'm lining. So yeah, I'll just kind of thicken the line like that. Okay, I have this lip liner on, but I don't want the lip to be this dark. So I'm going to go in with the lip pencil now in the shade Cafe. I actually need to sharpen this. Okay, so Cafe, and we'll kind of fill in the rest of the lip and blend. Okay, so I sharpened my pencil and I'm going to fill the rest of the lip in with this lip pencil. And once we do that, I'm going to kind of just mesh these colors together. So I'm going to go over that deeper shade. What did I call it? Char. I'm going to go over that a little bit with this lighter color. Just like this. And now I'm just going to take my finger and kind of press and see if I can just kind of use the heat of my finger to press the lip pencil in, see if I need to kind of blend anywhere. This is exactly what I was hoping for, but I want a gloss. So I grabbed my Pat McGrath Labs Faux Real Lust Gloss Lip Gloss. That's a long name, but you see it's kind of this milky pinky nude. It has this little bit of shimmer to it. I feel like it's gonna play really well with the overall look, but I kind of felt like it was reminiscent of the blush that we used, and I really like Pat McGrath glosses. Isn't that pretty? So I'm going to put some gloss on, and that will be our completed look. All right, y'all, here is the finished look. My take on latte makeup using the new Sigma quads, using some other products from my stash. I had a lot of fun with this. Like I said, it's fun to be inspired by the trends. I've seen this going around and I thought, let's do it. Let's try it. So I would love to know, are there any other trends that are going around that you would like to see my take on? Let me know. I love to hear from y'all. I had fun with this one, creating this latte bronzy golden type of look. I really enjoy it. I hope you're having a good day. Shop your stash. Let me know. What do you have? What would you pull from your collection to kind of dupe the vibes of this trend? I would love to hear, but please do subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I have lots of videos planned, lots of videos coming. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you very soon in another video. Bye.